Hey, I'm Dorcas, speaker, author, and transformational healing coach. For the past 5 years, I have been joyously healing from a life of abandonment trauma, rape, suicidal ideations, molestation, and so much more. Now I get to live in my purpose while empowering you to embrace the joy of your own healing journey. I unapologetically spoke my truth and I did the work. Now it's time to go deeper as I empower you and let you know that healing is so worth it as we go beyond the healing.
Hello, everyone. It's your girl, Dorcas, aka Coach Dorcas, your host of Beyond the Healing podcast, where we are here to have some real, relatable conversations that will give you hope and some tools that will help you go deeper in your journey of healing and beyond the healing. I am here today, with another amazing, phenomenal woman, because we're all of that in our own right. But this one right here, she is a force to be reckoned with. I don't say that lightly. To know her story, parts of her story, and to see where she is today, she is truly living life beyond the healing. And so I really needed her to come on Beyond the Healing, the podcast, and just share her perspective and share her journey with all of you. Um, because at some point in all of our lives, my prayer is that we will all get to experience life beyond the healing, no matter what part of your journey you're currently in, because healing is continuous. We're all gonna be at some point along this healing journey at, at, at every point in our lives. And so that's the key, is knowing that we're all going to be at some point along a healing journey, whether you're starting, where you're going through it, or where you're living beyond it, because we're always going to have something that we go through, and that we grow through, and that we need to overcome, that something that is equipping us for the next season of our lives. And so I'm just honored that she gave me her yes, she gave y'all her yes, and yeah, that part. So, Jae Rene, Coach Jae, um, just tell the listeners a little bit about yourself, who you are, what you do, and then we'll jump right into this conversation.
Yeah, absolutely. Hey, everybody. I am Coach Jae Rene, your self mastery and alignment coach. And I teach women how to turn life's twists and turns into testimonies of identity and purpose. Basically, I show you how to make a purposeful pivot, an
Mm.
intentional shift that allows you to use life's circumstances as stepping stones so that you can align yourself with your authentic self and your true purpose. I have gone through my own massive transformation in this life. And so that's part of what qualifies me to do what I do. And so I get a lot of joy out of helping my clients and just people in general look at things differently, challenge their own perspectives, find meaning out of things. And really just turn it around where it's no longer an obstacle, it is an opportunity. I'm happy to be here. I'm excited.
Listen, that right there in itself, um, is everything. It's everything. It's about shifting your perspective. It's about leaning into the pivot, into the transition, going with the current instead of resisting the current. That's what it's all about. And you said those things qualified you, because we all know he qualifies the called. He doesn't call the qualified.
Absolutely.
He
Absolutely.
so this is lived experience, y'all. That's the greatest experience is lived experience. And there's I've had several guests on here, and most of it is lived experience. And that's the thing about it. The textbook can only take you so far.
Absolutely. I think
The
that
certifications can only take you so
uh,
far.
absolutely education can only take you so far, but I think that people want real experience anyway. They want people who have been through things that are similar to the things that
Mm-hmm.
they've been through so that they know, oh, you've been where I was, so you can really help me through this. If you were there and you're here now, I can only imagine what's possible for me. So I think people want a lot more of the authentic journeys that we have gone through, the pieces of the story that maybe took us a minute to embrace or come to terms with,
That part.
So, yeah.
And that's what it's all about, and that is so true because people are tired of the polished mask.
Yes.
People are tired of only seeing the good part.
Yeah.
They need to they need to see the struggle. In a sense, was okay, what did you go through?
Yeah.
Like, I can go and read a book, I can go and do all of those things, but having someone, because one, we're not meant to do life alone, to help me navigate, who's lived this,
Yeah.
who've experienced this, who has skin in the game.
Absolutely.
Like that part. I don't want somebody, I said I'm gonna learn how to swim and this is just me. I don't want you to read the instructions. I don't want somebody who just read a book trying to teach me how to swim. I need somebody who
Right.
knows how to swim to teach
Get
me.
in the water with me.
Get in the water with me. And so that's the thing about it. Like, we can only learn so much from self-help books and textbooks and education, but when you've had someone who's experienced this,
Yeah.
who has lived through this, who has put in the work and knows what it takes, knows how to help me, knows what it looks like, what happens when I get here, what
Right.
do I do? And that's one thing I tell my clients, like, look, I've gone through my healing journey, and so I know what it looked like. So what I'm doing with you, I am going back, grabbing your hand, and we're going to
Mm.
navigate your journey together. So when
Yes.
I tell you to jump, I know how far. I know
Yeah.
how what this gap looks like. So I'm gonna hold your hand and just trust me, because I've taken this leap before, and you're
Mhm.
not taking it by yourself. Because oftentimes people will tell you how to go through it, but they're not there to hold your hand when it's time for you to leap.
Right, absolutely. So you feel like you were just left alone. You told
That
me
part
what to do, but you didn't go through it with me.
with me.
And I kind of need somebody to hold my hand on this part. I feel like a lot of people get to a part in their healing journey where it's like, okay, nobody told me it was going to look like this. And I'm second guessing my own ability to get through this. That's why
Yes.
coaches like us are so important, because we will take your hand and make that jump with you and stay with you throughout the process and let you know this is normal. You're
Hmm.
still progressing. You're still moving forward. You're still doing what you need to do. Like, this is you're still on track. You're still
Yeah.
doing exactly what you need to be doing, and you're still exactly where you need to be.
That's key. And when you get to that point where you're in your own head, we're there to say, no, ma'am, get your life
Right.
together. Let's do this, because
Right.
you've come so far, because you've been doing the work. So no, I'm not allowing you to second guess yourself.
Yeah.
I'm showing you, and I'm pulling you, because you have the ability to take the leap. You have the ability to push through these growing pains. And that's what we are here, that's what Beyond the Healing, like, we're showing you. And I, you know, wanted to give you faces of people
Hmm.
who are here to help,
Absolutely.
faces of people who have gone through their own healing journeys, whether it was, no matter what it is,
Right.
because everybody's healing journey is different. Everybody has to heal from something different.
Right.
And I keep saying this, and I always say this, no matter, some healing journeys are a little bit more gut wrenching than
Absolutely.
others. Some of us should have gray hairs and really should, like, we should look like
Absolutely.
Like, and then you have some, not to negate anybody's healing journey, but some people, their like healing journey is a lot more extensive. They have to go through heart transplant, lung transplant. They have
Hello?
to get some stuff reattached.
Be taken apart. Look, and
Look,
reassembled. Oh my goodness.
reassemble. Oh, look, and put in a spiritually induced coma, medically. You
Absolutely.
really, like, some of us really have to go into ICU in a coma in order to come out healed. And then
Absolutely.
there's some that don't have to go through all that, but
Yeah.
it doesn't negate that you've healed and you are now living your life beyond the healing.
Yeah.
So, giving you the different perspectives of healing through loss, healing through childhood trauma, healing through self trauma,
Mm-hmm.
no matter what the trauma is, no matter what you've healed through, or you're contemplating healing, starting
Yeah.
your healing journey, or you're currently in your healing journey and you're at that place where, at that crossroads, look, I really don't know if I can continue this by myself.
Mm-hmm.
This platform, Beyond the Healing, is all about giving you faces and giving you the opportunity to hear different voices,
Mm-hmm.
because everyone is called to a voice.
Right.
So whereas my voice may not be the voice for you, Jay's voice may be the voice for you, or whoever is on this platform, and just giving you real people who've done the real work,
Mm-hmm.
who who are who are at a point in their journeys where they are okay with showing you
Yeah.
the real.
Absolutely.
And the real means showing you the scars, because scars
Yeah.
mean that you've healed,
Absolutely.
and
Absolutely.
showing you that you got this.
Mm-hmm. If I could do it, you could do it too. Listen, I think a lot of people need to hear that. If I can do it, you can do it too. Like they need hope. They need to see
That's
like,
it.
oh, okay, okay. If you made it through
Of
all of
that.
that, surely I can do it too.
And that's the thing, is, if like you said, if you made it through the pain,
Mm-hmm.
if you're still here and you can breathe and you have life in your body, if you made it through that,
That part. That part. Every day you wake up and you still have breath, that means you still have a purpose on this earth. Your purpose is not done. You are still needed here. Hello?
mm-hmm,
Because when God decided that you were needed on this earth, He already knew your days were numbered. So every day that you wake up is a day to keep going, to be better, to get it right? Make improvements, whatever it is. Um, and to not take this life for granted, regardless of if it's a hard day, a good day, a challenging day, a day you didn't want to get out of bed, but you woke up anyway. So your life has purpose, and I think that a lot of people just need to be reminded of that. We're always going to be going through something because
yeah.
life is what it is, but you're still needed here. You still have a purpose. You woke up this morning and God said you are still needed.
Listen, that part. When God gave me the acronym HOPE, HOPE stands for Healing Opportunities Presented Every Day.
Every day. Every
Every
day.
day.
Yeah. I love that.
Every day that you wake up is an opportunity to heal. We
Yeah.
just have to choose to do so.
Woo, that part. You have to choose to do
Choose.
so. Because, baby, listen, I remember I didn't want to be here.
We
I used to
both.
I used to pray like, and it's I'm grateful now that God didn't answer my prayer, but yeah, I
You
used
know.
to pray like, God, don't let me wake up tomorrow. And my heart was so injured back then that I would be so angry, like, God, do not let me wake up tomorrow. Like, at least that's the very least you could do, is not let me wake up tomorrow. And when I would wake up the next day, I would be so angry, like, see, you still not listening. I'm still here. I was just so angry. And in hindsight, I can look at that angry person and just be like, girl, you had no idea what God had in store for you. Like,
That
I
part.
can only imagine what God was thinking. Like, you're hurting now, but that pain has a purpose and you're going to use it. So I'm grateful.
Not God, not my will, but your will be done.
That
And
part.
I'm so glad that our Father doesn't give us what we want, because He knows we just be out in our emotions. And
And
your
do.
prayer, the prayer that you were praying was in reaction to the pain.
Yes. Absolutely.
And it was in reaction to your flesh, because your flesh was tired
Mm-hmm.
of hurting.
Absolutely.
And so God knew that, and He knew you were born with a purpose. And we, Coach Jay and I, we both have the same mentor, Tina More Global, Coach Tina. And one thing she also she has this, mercy, I am so necessary. And I made a reel, and I was like, there was a point in my life where I questioned if I was needed.
Yeah.
But now I know I'm so necessary.
That part. Absolutely. Absolutely.
Because, that was a point in my life where I was like, they don't need me.
Mm-hmm.
No one needs me. Who needs this broken chick? I'm tired of carrying this mask. I'm tired of pretending that it's all together. And at that point, I couldn't pretend anymore, and it was all falling apart. So I'm like, no one needs me.
Mm-hmm.
And so that was me questioning if I was even needed on this earth.
Yeah.
If I was even, me taking up space was like, why?
Mm-hmm.
But now, on this side of it all, I know I am so necessary.
Absolutely.
Like, I was put on this earth to not only take up the space that I'm supposed to take up, but I also was put on this earth because I have a purpose.
That part.
And everything that I went through was God conditioning me and equipping me
Mm-hmm.
for the purposeful calling that was on my life.
Yeah.
I'm here to give hope in any capacity, whether it's through my coaching, whether it's through the magazine, whether it's through the podcast, no matter what it's for. My purpose on this earth is to provide hope, and through that hope, people get healed.
Absolutely. I love that so much. It's such an amazing feeling to get to that point where you're just like, I am needed. I am necessary, right? That piece of the healing where you have a bigger purpose, even if you don't fully understand what that purpose is, but you just
Mm-hmm.
know, like, hey,
Mm-hmm.
my mere existence on this earth shows that I have a purpose. Somebody needs something that I have. I don't care if it's my smile. I don't care if it's a good morning. I don't care. Okay? Whatever it is, somebody needs what I have on a day-to-day basis. Because sometimes we like to think that purpose is just this big ta-da thing, and sometimes it is the small things that we believe might be insignificant but have the biggest and most profound impact on other people. Like that little good morning I just did. I cannot tell you how many people tell me all the time, I miss that. I love when you say that. It just brightens my morning. And it was just something I was doing to boost myself, you know what I'm saying? And to hear that it impacted other people, like, you just never know what pieces of you are going to resonate or hit somebody in a way that moves them in a positive direction. So you can't take nothing for granted, not even the seemingly small things.
No. And that's the thing about it. We think they're insignificant, but they make the most profound impact
Absolutely.
on the lives of so many people. And we're like, it's just like you said, it's just a good morning. It's just a high pitched good morning. And that you say, I was saying that to pep myself up.
Yeah.
But in that same vein, every other people needed that to brighten their day.
Yeah.
And so even if you were you were just going through to say I'm gonna commit to this, and that this is for me. This is for me.
Mm-hmm.
God's like, no, it's bigger than you. And that's the thing about it. Our healing is bigger than us as individuals.
Absolutely. Yes.
Like it's for his kingdom.
Mm-hmm.
It's for the people that you're meant to impact. It's for the places and the spaces that you're meant to be in.
Yes. Yes.
It's for your purpose. And we were born
for your good.
Yeah,
For
that
your
part.
good. And the good of others. Because I think sometimes we think because we are going through something or because we're down and out that we can't be used. But that is not true. First of all, God can use anybody at any point in time for anything. And so, us healing, whatever that looks like for us, God can use that to move somebody else and to have somebody else feel like they are inspired to heal. They are inspired to do better. They are inspired to be better, whatever it is. And so we might be going through something and create something for ourselves to make ourselves feel better, just like the example I gave. And it ends up spurring someone else to decide that they want to heal or they want to feel better. They're going to actually put in the work to do what's needed for them. And I think that is such a overlooked sort of blessing that we don't often get to see, but we have to keep top of mind. Like, no matter what we're doing, some way, some form, even if we don't get to see it, we are impacting somebody somewhere.
That part. That part. And I love that. I love that you said that, and we just have to be mindful of that. We're always impacting somebody somewhere.
Always.
And just being intentional with that, no matter who it is.
Mm-hmm.
There have been plenty of times that I thought I was just speaking something for me, and like you said, holding myself accountable.
Right.
And it's like, I needed that. Girl, what?
Those moments. I love those moments. It's the moments where you don't even think that you're impacting somebody and you get that unexpected, girl, that was for me.
Listen.
Well, it was really for me, but I'm glad that it did something you too, sis,
I started sending out weekly emails, my weekly newsletter, and it's called Moment of Hope, and it's basically I give you a scripture, I give you affirmation, all those things. And right when I was questioning, like, do people really read this? Like, I see that, the open rate and all of that.
Right.
And someone told me, she's like, I really love my emails. I'm like, what emails?
You're not even thinking about it.
I'm like, email? When I send you? I'm like, when did I send your email? And I was so confused. She's like, I love my weekly emails. I get so excited about receiving them.
Oh.
And I had to think about it. And I was like, oh. And here I am questioning if it's really making an impact or if it's really helping somebody.
Right.
And the moment we start to question it, God shows us, no, you need to keep going.
Absolutely. Absolutely. He always comes through on time when we're questioning, when we have our doubts. He'll send exactly what we need, when we need it.
And how we need it.
And how we need it. Oof. He's so on time.
And the great thing about it is she's like, and I go back, and she said, she have them in a folder. She can go back and she can read through them and stuff like that. But it's just being intentional and knowing that nothing you do is in vain.
Absolutely.
One, what the enemy meant for your bad, God would always turn around for your good. So it's not in vain. Right. The pain is not in vain. Two, just because you think that it's not helping somebody doesn't mean it's not.
Absolutely.
So keep going, keep doing, keep pushing, keep going. And none of it's in vain. God doesn't waste a single thing because in all things he must get the glory.
Nothing is wasted.
Nothing.
Wasted.
Nothing. When I say nothing is wasted, nothing
Nothing.
is wasted.
Mm-hmm.
And that's the part about it. Like, his plans are to prosper us, to give us hope in the future, never to harm us. So everything that happens, whether it's painful, whether it's joyous, no matter what it is, he's gonna use it.
Absolutely. I think about my story and I'm just like, to be sometimes it blows my mind, some of the things that come out of my mouth, just like it probably blows y'all's. But I'll be thinking, like, for me to be in the position that I'm in today and to have the meaning that I have from what I went through, you couldn't tell me even a year ago, maybe 2 years ago, that I would have that level of understanding or that meaning to draw from that. Like, something that was probably the hardest decision I will ever have to make in life. Like, you know, taking my son off of life support. In a way, it kind of disconnected me from all of the things that I thought made me me. And it was like God put up a mirror. Once my son was gone, it was like putting up a mirror to me and saying, you built your home and your identity in things that don't even matter, that don't even really show you who you are. And it was up to me to decide, like, okay, now I have a choice to go on this journey to figure out who I really am, who God says I am. And I think back at that time and the pain, because I was so angry that I had to make that choice. Like, nobody could tell me. I would argue doctors up and down. If God wanted my son, he know where he's at. He could come get him. He's going to heal him. Like, arguing doctors down. Do you hear me?
Wow.
So to have to get to that point to make that decision and take him off of life support, I was so angry because I'm like, why would you put me in a position to have to make that choice? And then to get here all these years later and understand that God trusted me. Not only did he trust me to make the hard kind decision, but he trusted me with the pain that was going to come after. He trusted me with darkness. He trusted me with pain. He trusted me with getting to that low point and trusted that I would come back. He trusted that I would come back. Even though I had free will, like, he trusted, like, you know what? I'm going to be patient with you. I'm going to be patient because I trust you. I have trust in what I planted in you that you don't even know is in you yet, that you are going to come back to me and I am going to help refine you. Because I never would have thought I would have been able to become a better person after all of that. You think something like that would just define you and it would show up on your face. And if I didn't tell people, they would never know. And it blows my mind, like, wow, God, you really did trust me. Like, to this day, he gets all the credit because I don't know how I made it through that. I can't tell you.
Nobody.
God.
Listen. And you know what's the thing about it is, earlier this year, I was blessed with the opportunity to interview Tabitha Brown, for the magazine. Whew, that part. And after the interview and it, was over and we had just an intimate moment.
Yeah.
And that was one thing she told me. She said, God knew he could trust you with the abandonment trauma. He could trust you with the molestation. He could trust you with the addiction. He could trust you with the rape. He could trust you with the suicidal ideations. He knew that he could trust you with it.
Yeah.
And and all of that reminded me of Job.
I started to say that. I love that.
Because Satan didn't ask for Job.
God offered him up.
God offered Job up.
Because
he knew he could trust him. He knew that he could trust Job with it.
Yes.
And that's and you talked about shifting your perspective. And that's one thing. God wants us to shift our perspective and shift from a fleshly perspective to a God perspective.
Absolutely.
And especially as believers in Christ, we say we say we're Christians, we say we're followers of him. Well, why are we allowing the vision of our flesh to dictate so much about who we are?
Yes.
And so that's the thing about it, is shifting your perspective and saying, Satan didn't ask for Job. God offered Job.
Yes, he did.
Because the thing about it is, and that's why Jeremiah 29:11, my plans are not to harm you. They're not to harm you.
Oof.
And so if we look at the life of Job and really think about everything that Job lost, none of it was to harm Job. Because think about it. What was restored after the fact?
Everything. He got double that he lost. Like,
that part.
God restored him double. Like, listen.
Double.
So when you think about it, it was a setup for God to bless him with more. Yeah, the process was downright dirty.
Ratchet.
But he was blessed in the end.
Let me tell you something. on our worst day, we ain't got nothing on.
Do you hear me? Listen, I know why.
Bro, Joe.
Like, God, what did I do?
Bro, Joe, let me tell you something. On our worst day. That part. And that's why the story of Job is so significant. We have to just really realize that beyond Job's healing, the healing of the loss of everything, from his family, his finances, his health.
Yes.
What didn't God allow Satan to touch? He said, you just can't have him.
Okay, listen.
And having him meaning in death.
Yeah.
On our worst day, we can't touch Job and his journey with a 10-foot pole.
For real. I love the book of Job. And honestly, when I got back right talking to God, because after everything with my son, I stopped talking. I stopped praying. I stopped going to church. I stopped reading my Bible. I stopped talking to God for like a year and a half after everything with my son. And when I finally decided enough was enough, and I was like, all right, God, I'm tired. Help me.
That's him. He'll let you, he'll give you enough rope to hang yourself. And then
do you hear me? Listen, go ahead and get all that anger out. Because after you done being angry, you going to get numb. And when you tired of being numb, you're going to be like, hey, I'm ready. And I got to that point, like, listen, God, I'm mad at you because of this, X, Y, and Z, but I don't want to be like this anymore. Help me. And Job was the first book of the Bible that he told me to go read. And I'm talking about, I'm reading this story with fresh eyes, and I'm boohoo crying because Job, baby boy, I couldn't imagine. Yes, I had to give my son up, but listen, I don't, And so I had a fresh appreciation for Job and an understanding that God trusted him with all of that pain, all of that anguish, all of the medical issues, all of the betrayal from family and his wife and all that, knowing that he was still going to be blessed in the end. And so I was like, God, if you can do it for Job, I know you can do it for me.
And that's key. That's the key. You know, we said we overcame the enemy.
Yes.
By the blood of the Lamb and the word of our testimonies.
Absolutely.
The first part of the equation has been done.
Yes, ma'am.
That's done. And that's why the enemy tries so hard to keep us silent, to keep us hiding behind a mask, to keep us in a season, a mask of shame, keeping us with a mask of fear and even pride and all of those things, because he understands the equation. He knows the equation that I am defeated by the blood, and conjunction word, meaning plus sign. 1 + 1 is 2. So therefore, comma,
Right.
we have a responsibility now to the equation.
Yeah.
And he knows that if the Dorcases and the Jays and all and everyone else fulfill their part of the the 1 + 1 = 2,
Yeah.
then you're gonna have a whole bunch of ones and ones and ones fulfilling the other part of the equation. And that's why it's so important. And that's why God could trust us to heal. I promise you. I said it. He accelerated my healing. He's in a season of acceleration that it's like, bro, I got like we heal from one thing, and he's like, okay, it's time for you to go to the next. Okay, it's time.
Slow down, sir. Can
Bro,
I listen?
can I breathe? Can I catch my breath?
Catch my breath.
Can I have a time to reflect?
Absolutely.
And he's like, nah, you have work to do, and I need you to get get it quickly.
Yes.
So he orchestrated. I mean, the way God loves us. I don't care what nobody say. God loves you so much. He loves all his children, but it's something about his daughters that he is on a mission. Like he is showing his daughters like never before that I love you so much, because he understands that life comes from a woman. And if he can get our daughters, if he can get his daughters to understand who they are now in him, to shift their perspective, to understand where their identity comes from. Your identity doesn't come from being a mom. Your identity doesn't come from being a wife. Your identity doesn't come from what you can give to everybody else. Your identity comes from him.
Exactly.
Your identity comes from what he put on the inside of you, how he sees you. Yes. And that's the thing about it. And I tell people I'm his favorite. And sometimes I share that title with some people. Okay, I'm just gonna let you know that I'm gonna share my title with you. Really, I'm his favorite. I don't care what you say, but I know I'm my daddy's favorite. But if he's really on, he is accelerating his daughters, because he needs his daughters to understand who they are, because we are the shift that happens, because we are life-giving. You want to tear down somebody, let a woman do it. A woman tear down somebody, it is some,
and it is that part.
And that's why women have been pit against each other for so long, especially Black women. And because it understands that we give life. We give life. We birth life, and we are life. We were put here for life. For life. We were put here to be a helpmate. We were put here to birth life. We are life giving.
That part.
And so by us going beyond the healing, by us embarking on our healing journeys and navigating those things with the grace of God, with the help, with God all together, and we stand firm and stand 10 toes down and say, you know what, I'm going to speak my truth. I'm going to tell my story, and I'm going to make sure that I'm postured and positioned to be used to help other women, other daughters get to that point.
Yes.
That's the part.
That's
the part. That's the key
it.
right there. It's getting you to understand that there's only one person who can define you.
Hello, the person who created you. Hello.
And I've said this before, you know, when God showed me that he was the only person who could validate me or invalidate me,
that part,
it was a game changer. Like, it was a game changer. That light bulb went off, and I promise you, it has been shining so bright, because we seek validation in all of our titles. But the one title that trumps every title is a daughter of God.
Do you hear me? That part. I am my father's daughter. You can't tell me Nothing, because I know what my daddy said about me.
That part.
Listen.
I tell people, you better watch how you handle me because my daddy's watching you and he don't play about me. He don't play the radio. You better, he gonna get you.
And would.
I'm just gonna say, and I'm just gonna tell him, Lord, I'm saying, Daddy, have mercy, okay? Because they know not what they don't know what they doing.
But
they don't know.
Because they don't know.
Yeah. And that's understanding who you are. And, you know, you talk about how the hardest thing you had to do was, you know, take your son off life support. Mm-hmm. Your identity was a mom. And as a mom, you are supposed to protect. You are supposed to care for. You are supposed to keep them safe. All of those things. And you couldn't do it.
And I couldn't do it.
And you couldn't fulfill your title, your role as his mom. Mm-hmm. But that was not who you were. Because God only loaned you to him.
That part.
At the end of the day.
He was on borrowed time from the beginning. Listen.
At the end of the day, that was his son.
Yes.
And so dealing with that trauma from a mom's perspective is kind of the same as dealing with that trauma from a daughter's perspective when it comes from your parents.
Yeah.
Because we understand, we see them, we see them from the title. Yeah. The earthly title. We see ourselves from that earthly title and what that title that quote unquote supposed to consist of.
Yeah.
But like I tell my clients and I tell people, he's as a mom, and I'm a mom of 2, so I can only imagine.
Yeah.
Whew, don't want to experience it. Love you. I can do it.
Yeah, okay.
I don't want you to trust me with that one. Look, be very clear. It's that there's only 2 roles. The only 2 responsibilities. One, to bring them into this world, to train them up the way they should go, no matter how much time. There was nothing else with that title.
Yeah.
Nothing else came with that title.
Yeah.
But he knew, just like, you know, that was your son and you still have your daughter. Mm-hmm. But he knew he could trust you with it, and that's the key.
And he did.
He trusted you with it, and you can honor your son and your healing.
Absolutely. Absolutely. Like, I think about that sometimes. And even just how God is just so intentional, even to the very fine details. Like, I was blessed to have my daughter, and I swear God has a sense of humor. He has to, fooling around with me. But I think about the day that we took my son off of his life support. That was January 3rd, 2011. I ended up having my daughter early, and she ended up having to stay in the hospital for about 5 weeks. She came home January 3rd, 2014. So it's like, even in that, God took a day that was marked by pain and turned it into a day of celebration and healing for me. Like, no, you will not always remember this day as a day of death, but also a day of life and celebration and healing and things to come. Like, he's just so intentional. I'm so grateful. Like, even just being on this journey, like, when he told me, like, nah, you're gonna help women with their identity and purpose, I'm like, I'm sorry, what? Sir, did are you sure you chose the right person? Because for me, it's like, now, God, you know, I struggled a real long time with my identity. So for you to say, you the one, I'm like, okay, but God, I can't give them identity and I can't give them a purpose. And he was like, no, but you can lead them to the one who can, which is me. And I'm like, you're right. Because the closer I became to him, the more he revealed to me about me. And so it's like, you have to stay close to the Creator for you to learn who you really are. That's my favorite prayer. God, show me how you see me. Show me who I am. Show me who you created me to be. I love praying that because every time I pray that, he shows me something new. It's like we are onions and there are layers to us. And he's only going to reveal the layers that we are ready for. He's never going to put too much more on us. It's just mind blowing. I love it.
It is. And when you really understand who you are as his daughter,
Yeah.
you really begin to understand him as your father.
Mm-hmm. Yes. And it
That's it.
changes the relationship.
Shit.
Like, it shifts the relationship that you have with him. Because I think about how the relationship I had with him in the past, not fully even understanding my role as his daughter,
Mm-hmm.
and how I function now. And, I think about how I was in the past. Not to say I was just, rebellious, but I can look back at a few times and I'm just like, okay, girl, you so lucky he took mercy on your soul, baby, because you can't get away with that now. But because I've come into a higher level of consciousness with my role, you know what I'm saying? I would never do half the things I did back then. So with that new level of understanding came new parameters, and me understanding like, oh, okay, I can't operate like that. I can't be saying stuff like that. So
Yeah. And that's it. But to get to fall in love and getting to experience who you are on this side of it. And then you look back to, whew, thank God he looked out for children and fools, because I was a plum.
Oh.
Like, oh God, I thank you.
Yes.
Because, yeah.
Mm-hmm.
Your girl was out here in these streets just being a fool, just talking reckless. But he was like, my poor child, she has no idea.
And yet he's so patient with us.
He's so patient. He's so
He
patient with us.
he
And when
makes
he
room for
know,
our mistakes and our the ways that we get ourselves in trouble, and he's still just, all right, I'm gonna get you out of there, but I'm gonna need you to learn that lesson or you're gonna go right back. Like, he's just so patient with us though.
and when he knows we're ready and we're really sick and tired of being sick and tired,
That part.
he snatches on. He lovingly snatches us up out of there.
Yeah.
And that's when the work begins. That's when the transformation began. And that's with every single journey.
Yeah.
Like I said, we said earlier, he doesn't waste a thing, no matter how small it is. And that's, I tell my clients, don't overlook the small things, because that paper, you don't feel that paper cut till you put some hand sanitizer on and you realize, and it hurts pretty bad.
Yes.
When you put that, you be like, whoo, Jesus, that small thing have such an impact. It can hurt so bad.
Yeah.
But it's a small paper cut. And so, don't overlook the small things when in as it relates to your healing, as it relates to your journeys in life, as it relates to what you can learn from experiences, and even healing from the small things.
Yeah, absolutely.
Because healing from some of the small things have been harder than healing from some of the more aggressive things, I would say that.
Absolutely, yes.
And for me, it was easy for me to heal from the molestation.
Yeah.
That's where it started.
Yeah.
And that was the first thing I spoke about.
Yeah.
But some of the other stuff that I thought didn't have as much of an impact.
Yes. Yes. Ooh.
Those took me through the ringer.
Okay.
Those right there, I almost tapped out. I'm done, bro. Bro, I love you. I love you.
Well,
I
nah.
trust you. But I'm done. Like, this healing thing is for the birds, because
It's a lot. You know what? I had a friend who was explaining to me what he was going through. Like, I don't understand, and I'm just angry all the time now, and I feel like I don't have any happiness, and it's just one thing after another. And like hearing him describe what he was going through, I don't think he understood that he was healing. To him, I think he thought the healing journey was going to be like, I'm just going to progressively start to feel better. No, baby, you're going to feel worse before you feel better, because all of that stuff you hid underneath that rug
you got to come
is
out.
going to start to surface and come up and come out. So that's why you're angry and sad, and you're thinking about things, and you're getting triggered all over again, because you have to deal with all of those things that you buried before it begins to start feeling better. And I think a lot of people think that when they begin to heal, it's just these increments of, I'm gonna feel better and better and better. No, baby, healing is like a roller coaster. Let me tell you, them loop-de-loops. You better be prepared. Listen, it's not linear. Some days you're gonna feel on top of the world, and then other days you're gonna feel like, I thought I had progressed further, and now I feel like I'm all the way down at the bottom again. And it's normal. It's completely normal.
You're going through, I say healing is like physical therapy.
Listen.
In some instances, it's like physical therapy, and you just have to have the support. You have to have the tools.
Mm-hmm.
You have to have the people around you.
Absolutely.
But it's the other side of it. It may feel uncomfortable while you're going through it, but you continue to put in the work.
Mm-hmm.
And once you know exactly, like once you navigate the healing journey, understanding exactly who you are.
Yes.
The biggest question is, who are you? Not your title, not mom, not wife. Like, who are you? At your core, who are you? And if you're not able to answer that question, then that's where the work begins, because there's something or some things that has happened throughout your life to distort your perspective of self.
Absolutely.
And you have taken on the identity of all of life's happenings.
Yeah.
And so it's okay if you don't know who you are right now.
Right.
But acknowledging that you don't know who you are, and then putting in the work to really fall in love with who you are.
That piece of the journey. I think that's a beautiful part of the journey, where you are on the exploration to finding out who you are. Like, you find out all these wonderful things about yourself that you had no idea about. Even the things that maybe we don't necessarily enjoy about ourselves, but to have a newfound appreciation that even in those things, they are with a purpose. That is part of me for a purpose. God said I needed this for some reason. And to just appreciate every part of yourself, that's a different level. I love that.
Yeah, it's that's it. I said on my docuseries, I was like, this chick is so dope. And I mean it from my soul. It's not me. It's not just empty words. Because I've said it before in my brokenness. I'm like, girl, I'm dope. You don't know who I am. But like when I say that now, this chick is dope, and I am a force.
Okay, to be reckoned with. She a powerhouse, y'all. Don't play with her. She is a powerhouse. Listen.
Like, I'm coming. I'm coming.
As you should.
I'm coming to snatch all of you.
Listen.
And that's the thing. And I welcome that, because one, I know who Dorcas is.
Yeah.
I know what she's equipped with.
Absolutely. Ooh.
And because I know what she's equipped with, I know who she belonged to.
Hello, that piece.
And so I'm not doing this by myself.
That part. Mm-hmm. Oh, hello? Because you thought you was dealing with me, but come correct, or you going to be dealing with my daddy. Hello?
And that's the thing, you know, I told people, even before I begin any coaching session, I decrease so that you may increase. Speak through me. I don't know your business. Your daddy do. But your daddy he's the biggest snitch.
He gonna tell me what I need to know.
The Father, the Holy Spirit, they some snitches.
Woo, and they are.
They
in
some
the
snitches.
best way possible. Will tell me some stuff that you ain't told nobody, and I'm speaking about it. Hello? Listen, my daddy told me. I don't know what to tell you.
Don't shoot the messenger.
Hello.
But the thing about it is I had to go through the healing journey.
Yeah.
And I had to be cleansed of the residue.
Yeah.
And the noise had to be quieted.
That part.
And really getting to know me.
Yeah.
To be able to accept, welcome, walk in. And you understand, like we hear, you understand. Walk in with authority.
That part.
My purpose.
Girl, that gave me tinkles. That part.
But we could only get to this point.
Yeah.
Beyond the healing.
Beyond the healing, that part.
By trusting him in the healing.
Yes. That part. Whew, girl, that gave me tingles. But yes.
Trusting.
No, sometimes just trusting him in the healing, because sometimes, listen, I remember there were times where I just felt like I didn't know where I was. I can't see. Listen, you just gonna have to guide me. That whole faith, not by the things that we see.
We walk by faith, not by sight.
That part, because I don't know where I'm going. I don't know where I'm at.
I still have those moments, because listen, your bro has shown me some stuff. I'm like, bro, what are we doing?
Yeah, okay. Where are we going?
Where we going? Where we going?
Where we going? Listen.
I know we're going somewhere, but I don't see that somewhere right now.
And he just be like, enjoy the ride.
Enjoy.
I'm sorry, what? Oh, okay.
Did you
not princessing?
And then, and like you said, healing is a roller coaster ride. But when you are beyond the healing and on this side of the healing, it's still a roller coaster ride, because you're trusting him, and the destination, you may have to go through some loop-de-loops. Like, whoo, son.
That wasn't our stop back there. We just gonna keep on going. Oh, okay. All right. Okay. Well, you in the driver's seat. I just, it's like that.
But we're able to just be passenger princesses.
Yes, because we don't have to worry about anything.
We don't have to worry about it, because in your healing, and as you're navigating through that healing, you really understand that he got the answers, I don't.
That part. He's in full control.
And I don't have to. When you realize that you really don't have to figure stuff out, because when in your brokenness, in your pain, you're trying to figure it out. You're trying to navigate the way. You are trying to do all of those things.
Right.
But in that space of healing,
yeah. You don't got to do that. You can rest in me. You can rest in my presence. You tired? That's fine. Rest. And you still gonna make it to where you need to be. Rest. And you're still on time. Rest. You are still who you need to be. Rest. Healing is still taking place.
That that is recommended for healing. Rest. Rest. They tell you, get some rest. Kick your feet up. Get some rest. Your body needs to heal. Your soul needs to heal. Your mind, your spirit needs to heal. And that's the thing about it. I've learned a lot, all of those things, and just in my healing. And once you've healed, it's like you know how to heal.
Yes. Yes.
And one of the most joyful things about being on this side of healing is that I learned how to heal. So
Mm-hmm.
when life starts lifing,
Yeah.
I know how to heal.
Exactly. It's a different process because that first real healing journey you embark on, it's like a push and pull, a tug of war, a knockdown, drag out fight because
It's a tantrum.
there's so many things that you don't know, but then once you make it beyond the healing, you understand, you have a newfound level of understanding to where when you're healing other things, it's not so much of a struggle, you're not as resistant. You show yourself more compassion. It's easier for you to bestow forgiveness on others and yourself.
Yourself.
You find joy in moments. I know people think you can find joy while you healing. Yes,
That
and you
look,
absolutely
that's
should.
that's my hashtag, joyously healing.
Hello, that part.
Embrace the joy of healing.
Yes,
That's the joy of it. That's the joy of it all.
absolutely.
Like, and that's it's like, okay, but it's healing. Yeah,
Mm-hmm.
I'm joyously healing right now.
That part. I'm gonna
I
enjoy the
am.
process and
I'm enjoying
whatever
the
it brings
process.
forth.
I'm
Cause
enjoying the process because I know there's something on the other side of this process
hello,
that is meant to prosper me,
that
to give
part.
me hope in the future. So guess what? Where we going, Daddy?
Where we going? What did Denzel say? I'm leaving here with something. Hello, I'm leaving this healing journey with something. God has something in this for me. Whether it's a newfound piece of myself, where there is a new level of peace, where it's a new level of understanding, a new spiritual, whatever. I'm leaving here with
With
something.
an abundance of something, and that's one. That's what I say, so that you can live your most abundant life, whatever that
Absolutely.
abundance is. It comes on the other side of one, dealing with your past, healing,
Mhm.
and reclaiming your identity in Christ, so
Absolutely.
you can live your most
So
abundant
you
life.
can live your most abundant life.
And that's the space of beyond the healing. That is where God desires for all of us to be,
Yeah.
is navigating life from the perspective of beyond the healing.
Mm-hmm.
Because once you've healed, you can embrace the joy of healing,
That part.
because
Yes.
he doesn't waste anything.
Mm-hmm.
He's conditioning you in the healing for whatever is next.
For what's
He's
yes, that
he's
part.
qualifying you in the healing for something you're gonna need those qualifications for in the future.
Mm-hmm.
And so it's to prosper you and
It
to give you
is
hope and a future.
that part.
And because you know that, and because you understand it, because you chose and you're choosing
Mm-hmm.
to not resist, but to embrace the joy.
Embrace it. Yes.
The smile is actually real, and it's not.
Yeah. Hello,
It's
listen, it's a
not
real smile. I'm
hi.
enjoying the process. It's not as painful. That don't mean you're not gonna experience no pain, but it's not as painful. Listen, you
It's a
this
whole
comes
perspective
with a
shift.
level of peace. It is your
Yeah.
entire perspective about the journey just there's
Shifts.
a level of acceptance with certain things, whether things are coming or going, just this acceptance, this peace, this knowing of it was supposed to be this way, it was supposed to happen this way, it couldn't happen any other way. Whatever's coming, let it come, and whatever's leaving, let it
Going, let
go.
go. let, caca.
let, let it go.
Let and that's and be unapologetic about it. And that's one thing I've learned is God knows what and who is meant to be on this journey of life with me. And if they're not meant to be, pluck them,
Okay,
pluck them,
listen.
pluck them. and I'm and I'm serious. I'm okay with it. I process it and
Yes,
say God knows what's best.
that part.
And I carried unnecessary weight long enough. I'm
Mm-hmm.
not carrying any other weight. I'm not carrying.
I'm not doing it.
I'm not doing it. Like, only thing I owe you is love. So bye. Love you. Bye. May God keep you. May God, shine his blessings upon you. May he have mercy on you, and may he give you desires of your heart.
Yeah.
But other than that,
this is where we part ways.
This is where. May the Lord watch between me and why we have. Oh my God, Jay, I could sit here and just converse with you for hours.
Likewise, sis.
Listen. Any final words as we wrap up this conversation?
I just want to encourage women to take their power back. Mm-hmm. You hold more power than you think you do, and it is time for you to embrace that. It is time for you to take it back. Healing is how you get there. Healing will show you so much about yourself, what God deposited in you, because he put seeds in you, baby. And everything that you are going through is watering the seeds that he planted in you so that you can be in full bloom for the purpose that he has called you for and for being who you are meant to be. So heal unapologetically, heal loudly, heal proudly, and take your power back. That's it.
That's it. She said it. Well, make sure you like, share,